Hey everybody, HMV here, playing more Factorio, and just setting up science here. I added a couple more military science packs to this thing because I was noticing that the science packs were being used faster than they were being generated, and I don't want to make any more that are being generated, but I definitely don't want to make less. That would be kind of stupid. So I need to also check the throughput of the military base here. So I am checking the things here because we weren't making any more. What are those? There's something we were missing here. We've got grenades. We weren't making bullets or turrets at a fast enough speed, and apparently I've fixed whatever the problem was. It might have been a simple throughput problem, or I had a belt turned wrong or something. I sadly don't remember because it's been a while ago. But the main thrust of this episode, at the beginning at least, is to set up my oil base. We're finally ready. We have the three easy to get researches done, which is the first two, and the hey, I decided not to bother with that trees. I just ran the power lines around. I'm sure governments do that sort of thing too all the time. But I set up my military, my red and my green, and now I need to get my blue science going. That's going to really open up a ton of research possibilities here. But I'm not going to get all the way done with that this episode because in a little bit something's going to happen, and it's kind of amusing actually. But first of all, I need to come down here to the coal or the copper smeltery because I need to pick up this factory here because I need to actually I don't even know if I don't pick it up. I just down here I make them. I need to make pump jacks, and I need to make some other things for oil processing that I don't have a lot of, like pipes and things like that. But right now the biggie is I need to make pump jacks because they take a while to make. Most of the things that I'm going to need are going to process quickly and be generated quickly, but pump jacks, they have some weird assembly things. Like I don't have a base that actually makes all those things together or any way to get them all together very easily, and I only need a couple pump jacks, so I don't want to build an oil processing station or something like that. So I get my pump jacks, and then I get some landfill, and it's time to build a land bridge for my train line here. So I set this up and then I fill it in. I was trying to be all precise about it because if you start in the middle, it actually uses up less resources. It uses up less landfill to fill in a spot that's in the water. But then I got bored and just dragged the mouse around to do it. I also am gonna need rail supplies pretty soon because I'm chewing through all my rails and my signals here building this rail line. But it is nice to have a rail line going out into the section here. And you notice that the biters are pretty far away. There are no biters in the immediate area currently as we look here on the map up in the upper right. But they're still kind of close, and pump jacks tend to make a decent amount of I made a specific section there so I could get a nice area to make my base, because as always you need the not have crossroads next to the base. Something I didn't realize yet, but I will realize eventually, obviously, is that you also don't want a base so close to a corner, T-junction, because it's going to be hard to leave that base and then go south. The way I have my T-junction set up to not have any crossroads on the north and south. Maybe I'll need to fix that T-junction so it can go south. But that's something I'll figure out once we actually have the oil base set up. So I got my pump jack set up. Now I just need to make some local pipe production here just to get everything hooked up and together, get all the power hooked up, and then and notice now, did you see that I put the thing down, and then now we can see a biter base like right in our face. And I don't know, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if it's the same one that we saw before, just it's bigger and closer than I thought it was, or if it's a new one. It looks like it actually probably is the same one that we saw before. So I picked up some some train stuff out of my car that I had left in my car, and now I'm finishing off the train lines here, and I manually turn the corner there so I can go up into the base, because this is what I care about. Yeah, that is a biter base that's just closer than I thought it was. So we need to set up a station here for the rails, for the oil train that's going to come and pick up the crude oil. And as is usual, I am basically out of rail supplies again now. So it is time. Oh, I'm setting up my power. The power that I have going along the left there, that was just temporary. I'm going to be removing that eventually, those power lines. They were just there to get the pump jacks going, so I made sure everything worked before I brought the train line up. So I need a whole bunch of train stuff, so I pick it all up and then just head right back out. It's really convenient to have this central station, but my goal here is for it to be gone, and I'm going to be removing a lot of the functionality of that central station in this episode, which is going to be causing the problem that I alluded to earlier. So here I am just making all my local storage tanks, pipes, things like that, and then I'm going to need to make the actual trains that have the storage tanks. I also want storage tanks locally to store the crude oil as it builds up until a train comes. So yeah, here I'm making the storage train cars, and I don't remember if I decide to only have one or if I decide to have two, but yeah, it looks like I decided to only have one because it's not all that necessary. And I thought I would just put like a whole bunch of pumps all together, but then I realized no, that's not very practical because I need to power them and things like that. I could have done like 4 pumps, but it also gets difficult to get the throughput of oil to those pumps. So basically, if you don't know it, at least from my experience, one pump can do 1 pipe's worth of thing, and also coming out of one storage tank, you can basically get 1 pipe out of each one of the connections. So really, I figure you have 1 storage tank per. Oops, Windows Defender is sending me, did not find any threats, so that's good. I don't have any threats since my last Windows Defender summary, so you should all be happy about that. But so I figure 4 of these things will, when they're full, they will have more oil than 1 train car will be able to carry. So that should be fine. I might end up doing 2 train cars eventually someday. I don't know that for a fact. I'll figure that out when the time comes. This is all things I was deciding as we go. And I originally wanted 4 lines of oil, crude oil, to be coming up to the train thing here, so that we had the full amount of oil coming in that could load a train. But then I realized that's dumb, because it's not limited by that right now. It's limited by the oops, crashed into the train there. It's limited by the it's limited not by the pipes and the throughput. It's limited by the pump jacks. There's no way the pump jacks are making 4 pipes worth of throughput. But anyway, so I come back to the base to load up, and I realize we're almost out of coal. We're like on the verge of being out of coal. So I set up this tiny little miner here to mine the last of the coal, and I'm watching the coal. I had some stuff in the line here for the coal. I'm picking up coal. Every time I pick up coal here, I'm picking up an item as well, and I couldn't figure out where that stuff was coming from. And where it was coming from was the yeah, I had my trains in the way here. I gotta get it out of the way of this guy so he can get moving. But yeah, the coal was yeah. And there's another thing, I have to make sure I'm up here as I go up to the north. Yeah, I'm checking my coal supplies. It's a little scary how quickly these coal stations are running out of coal, and possibly noticing this is what causes the problem later. So we come back here, and yeah, I noticed that there was stuff in the coal line. What that stuff was is I accidentally stopped my train at the coal station, and it unloaded some non-coal items from my train. So that's something I gotta watch for. I could put filter inserters on there, but eventually I'm going to be putting burner inserters on there so that they run even when the place doesn't have power. More on that in a minute. But so let's see, what am I doing? So I got rail signals here, so I'm walking around just making sure that rail signals get put down everywhere, and then now that train is filling up, and it's time to go kill me some biters. So I think I had to go back. Oh, picking up some arms. That's weird. Oh, I just wanted to go to the military station. Apparently, it's having endless trouble trying to get to the military station. So now I've picked up some turrets and some bullets, and here's the problem. I can't go north from that station because it's so close to the T-junction. I'm going to have to fix that as well. So I very quickly just drop the turrets down, and they take care of the biters. Note, evolution is at 47%, which is getting a little scary here. We're getting close to 50%, and when it hits 50%, we're going to get a lot worse biters and worms and stuff at the bases, and it's going to be a lot harder to kill them. Armor-piercing bullets should be fine in general. They should do the job, but eventually we're going to need laser turrets and flamethrower turrets and things like that. It'll all come, and it should come in time for me to address the biter problem, but I just don't know exactly when that's going to be. Yeah, I didn't like... Oh, yeah, I need the T-junction because I'm going to need to expand off to the left there. And you notice now you can't go from the south. There is no way to this station. So I think... yeah, I was going to set up a quick and dirty way to get there from there. But then I said, you know what, I'll just fix that later. No big deal. It can be fixed when the time comes. So I turn off my my blue build, and then I lay the rail lines here because what I want to do is I want to... Oh, no, I didn't turn off blue build yet. But I'm going to in a minute because what I want to do is grenade all this area and make sure that it's all set up. But I also want to get out here, get the rail lines set up, and then yeah, here's where I come out and yeah, see, I ended up just blowing up a whole bunch of rail lines there because I accidentally left blue build running, and I figured it was easier to just replace them than it would be to fix them later. So that's kind of amusing, but. Now I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so I decide here there. Now you can go to the south from the station. You still can't get to the station from the south without doing a little bit of a jihad. What? No, you can get to the station from the south as long as you're on the left-hand lane. So that's good. So I did fix that. That's nice to know. So now, yeah, I had forgotten where I left my car, so I finally came down here to get it because it has some stuff, and I also want to pick up, I think, that yellow assembler. I either want to pick it up or I want to set it to make things. Oh, I'm making pumps, yeah. So I'm leaving the yellow assembler down here, but I'm making some more oil supplies because I need my station that processes the oil. So I'm generating the oil processing plant and things like that, and I also am going to want to drop a radar up there so we can make sure that the area around where I'm making the oil processing is going to be clear. And I needed more circuits there. So obviously I went down to pick them up and everything. It's kind of nice having a little station here that I can just change the thing to anything I want and it'll just make it. So what am I making now? Oh, I'm making chemical plants. I'm just making a whole bunch of stuff so that when I'm up there, I'll have all the things I want. The oil processing plant area is going to be kind of big. And oh, look at this milestone. We are out of coal. The coal production and the iron production in the station up here are completely empty. So I don't know if you noticed that. I removed the train stations up there, including the coal train station. That's going to be important later in the episode. I removed those train stations thinking now I've officially stopped supplying supplies to the central base, and from now on I'm going to try to survive on my own without it. There is a major problem with that. There, I fixed the going north from this station now, which is nice. I should be able to actually get up there without having to go down to the science station and do a big turnaround. I still can't get to this base from the north to the south, but it's better than nothing. So, oh, and I screwed it up again. Yeah, I still can't get up there apparently, or maybe I screwed up the driving. I'm not sure. But it's time to grenade all this stuff, and then I'm going to lay the rail lines. I'm kind of giving myself a decent berth on the right-hand side so I can drive my car around it too. That's something that I wasn't paying attention to in the past. That it was difficult to get my car there. And now I'm looking here and I'm thinking if I put this station directly in the middle of those iron lines, iron is going to be a big deal throughout the save. It's going to be one of the most difficult to keep up resources in the game, and So I decided to take out all these power lines that I had put up to temporarily run the oil stations. But iron is going to be so rare, I'm going to want to tap those iron fields eventually. And I figure I might as well set the base up so that I can very easily just set up a single station to drop that raw iron ore into a train, and then trains can come up there and pick that iron ore up as it's available to be processed elsewhere. That's one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that I did my processing in a different place than my resource gathering, because if I wanted to mine the resources near the if I wanted to mine the resources at the coal plant, it's actually better because you don't have to transport the raw coal around, or the raw iron around, but you lose the fact that you don't have to build all the infrastructure out there, and I'm going to have all my oil processing stuff there, so I can leave the iron things alone and just have the lines running to the station, and just dedicate a single station to iron ore, and then the rest of it can all be my my oil processing stuff. So that'll be nice. So yeah, I need to pick up more belts, and I also I don't know what else I picked up. I just picked up a whole bunch of supplies to build my base here. So yeah, I'm setting it up so it's nice and to the left here, so that we can have all the little things expand out. And I decided to remove all these things so that I can place the station down. And then I turn blue build off so that I can grenade all the trees, and we can make sure that they're all out of the way when we're running. And then it's time to turn blue build on. And I don't know if you noticed that, I'm out of power. There's no power. And at the time here, I have no idea why. I cannot even fathom why we would be out of power. We've got a coal station. It is generating coal with no problems. I've got the coal train station here that has all its arms and things. It's just we are completely out of coal. And I go to the thing and I try to go to a pickup coal station, and they're all red. So I deduced that we have a supply problem. My guess here is that the pickup coal stations, none of them have enough coal for a train to go to, so the main station ran out of coal. This is incorrect, by the way. This is not a correct deduction. It's the coal stations are out of coal because the trains have come to pick up the coal and can't drop it off at any of the coal drop-off stations. Because they're all out of power, and trains run without power, so they were able to get the coal and run it away. Actually, now that I'm saying that might not be 100% correct, but the problem is not supply. Let's just say that. So I manually come down here, and I manually grab coal out of all these boxes, put it in this train, and then I then I manually drive it back to the base. Park it at what I think is the station. Note the station isn't there, and I place the coal in the burners here to get everything going, and now it's running again. I'm like, okay, so now I have a bit of time to get more coal set up. So I'm like looking around. I'm like, okay, there's coal down there. There's only coal to the north of me that I can see. So I'm like, okay, I need to run across the base to get back to my train or my car or something. But there's also this little coal field here that I had set up, but figured I didn't need it. And I'm like, you know what? I changed my mind. I do need it. I need to load coal on this thing and get it going ASAP. So I set up my factory here, and I set up the lines. I make them red so that they go as fast as possible. I balance them out, and I get them all going in, and boom, we have coal now. And it's at least loading up this station. It's not going to last forever, especially with how quickly we seem to be running coal, but it should be fine. And the trains are loading up coal on their own now, so I figure, okay, I've got a little bit of I've bought myself some time. Disaster averted. Let's get up here and abandon the oil station for now, and extend ourselves out a bit to I made that hashtag top so I can get a train up here very quickly and bring my supplies. I can actually tell my train to come up here for me, but I can't do that because power has already run back out. I don't know if you noticed that the radar isn't showing me what's around it because it has run out. And I'm like, well, I don't even notice it yet that I can only see myself because the radar's not telling me what's around me. It's just my own personal like view screen thing. So I go up here and I'm running this up to where we can tap into this coal area here. I hate that all this is happening at night, but I start to set up the station, and that's where I'm going to bid you adieu because we are at 23 hours. I really hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you enjoyed my folly. I'm enjoying it in the post because it was bad at the time, but I'm HMV and I will, as always, talk at you later.